Greetings and welcome to this year's Back to School Night presentation. My name is Benjamin Kapler. I am the instructor for all of the architectural courses here at High Point Regional High School. I'm going to talk to you a little bit tonight about just the architecture program at our school. I'm going to show you some of the software that the kids learned last year that they're going to be using again this year, and then talk a little bit about some of the content that we're going to be engaged with. Before we get going, I do want to make sure that I share with you my email address. If you have any questions or issues or anything like that regarding your student, or maybe just have a couple questions regarding the presentation or some of the content that we cover, go ahead and reach out to me. I will be sure to get back to you in a timely manner. A little bit about the program. Last year, your students completed the Principles of Architecture course. That was just a half-year course. It was exploratory. It was to find out if they liked the subject matter, if they were interested in it at all. And I believe that they were, if they're back here with us again for year two. So now we are moving on past like the half-year stuff, and we're going to dive a little deeper into the content in these full-year courses. So Architecture 2, 3, and 4 are all full-year courses. Architecture 3 and 4 specifically are both honors level. And then I have written down here Architecture 4, but really any student who's a senior should most likely be able to, or would be encouraged to complete a co-op. So if they're a senior, specifically in one of the higher level architecture courses, they're certainly welcome to pursue the co-op opportunity where they would be able to do or complete their core coursework early in the day at High Point, and then be able to in the afternoon leave and go off and work with a partner architecture firm in the area, so that they can kind of get a feel for what it's like working in the real world in that type of environment, and gain some great experience prior to even going off to college or working in the real world post high school. A little bit about just some of the software that we utilize. Primarily, number one software package that we're going to work with is going to be called Autodesk Revit. This is going to be Autodesk Revit 2021, so this is the newest iteration of that software package. It is available for free to students to download via the Autodesk Student and Education community. This solution exists out there in general outside of like a pandemic era, and kids in the past have been encouraged to download it for free at home if they had the opportunity. Same thing holds true now. The only difference is from having just the Autodesk student community in the past to kind of the situation we're in now. We had to come up with a solution for any student, even those outside of just having Windows-based PCs, to download the software and be able to utilize it. So there's a number of students who are primarily online or are online everybody's online half the time, and they need to be able to access the software. So the alternative, besides or outside of just the Autodesk student community for downloading the software, is we have now a Amazon Web Service account where we are running some virtual machines that have instances of Revit 2021 downloaded and installed on them. And students can access that via like a web-based portal. So they can log into it and they can basically stream the software on any device. So the advantage here is to be able to utilize the software that we use in school on pretty much any device at home, like so their Chromebooks or their MacBook or whatever it might be that maybe never could run Revit before. Students can access the same software that we're using like in class. Currently, I'm still awaiting that software getting up and running, but it should happen this week. So students will gain an access code or a user account and a password to access that solution. So they'll be able to work on the same types of things that they would otherwise be able to work on in class. So we're moving in that direction very quickly, and kids are going to gain access to that. That's a great thing. I mean, not just for being able to work through the challenges of this year, but also, if they have something else at home that they want to, pursue, or they want to spend a little extra time on it and do something above and beyond what we would do in class. So I think that's a great kind of way to proceed. If you didn't pick up on this last year, if I didn't get an opportunity to interact with you last year, just maybe the kids didn't get a chance to show you what they were doing in class. We were using Autodesk Revit, which is a building information modeling program and platform where buildings can get modeled in the computer in 3D, and all of the geometry is set up and structured so that it mimics real world properties for materials and components that would otherwise be placed into a building. This is a great step towards a comprehensive method of design where the designs and the building documents are included right next to and as part of a 3D model that can be analyzed so that we can optimize building performance and we can get an idea of how much it's going to cost to run a building over time and to monitor its performance. You can also get a good feel for what something's going to look like before it's ever built. So if you're going to sell a building to a client, they can even get an idea of what it's going to look like. You can put on a VR headset. You can take a tour of the building before it's ever going up. So that's something that is used extensively in the real world and at the college level, and your kids are up to speed with it after that half-year course, and they're just going to kind of gain some opportunity to work in that software package as we move on in time and to be able to use it to solve some relatively complex architectural design problems. We will be using for the study of content in this second year class a textbook by Kirklider and Thomas, and Kirklider titled Residential Drafting Design. It's a Goodhart Wilcox online textbook, so they have access to this. There's an online textbook, there's an online workbook with problems that they're going to be interacting with and completing. So they have access to this at this point, and we're starting to work through the first section of that textbook. And then we have an online component to kind of everything that we're doing here this year, being that we are primarily online. So this is going to be the Google Classroom. I think most of you are probably familiar with this. Several of you have probably already been added to it. I did instruct in the beginning of the year your students to invite you into the Google Classroom. There's a parent portion of this that you can be invited into. If you are not invited into it, maybe just ask your child to do so. If they don't want to do that for you, I can certainly do it. So just go ahead and hit me up and I can add you as well. Kind of the way we have things structured this year, when class starts, if kids are in class in front of me, they don't have to log in and meet up. But anybody who's online is going to just join our Google Meet, and that basically puts you in the classroom with me. Every single day I'm going to have updates or specific daily instructions on what's going on. That's going to be found in your stream. And then anything that's going to get graded is going to pop under here in classwork, and it's going to be organized on or underneath the unit that we're working on. Any grades that your child receives is going to get listed in here under grades. It's going to be tied directly to the assignments that are under classwork. Comments and feedback and things like that should all be added to that grading category, so you should be able to see the comments and things like that I'm putting on assignments. If there aren't comments, it was most likely because I had a chance to interact with somebody face to face. So that would be the only exception as to why a comment isn't maybe put on a grade. But all that stuff should be inputted in a timely manner, and if it's not, go ahead and feel free to remind me of anything that you see or something like that if you need some clarification or you had a question about anything. I have gone on for about 9 minutes here, and that is far past what I believe I was supposed to address in the scope of time that I had. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But once again, if you have any questions for me about anything that we talked about this evening, or you want clarification, please reach out. I'm here for you and your students, and I look forward to working with your kids this year and to possibly or potentially hear from you as well. All right. Thank you. Have a good evening. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you soon.